Okay, here's an update that I am rather happy to give you guys. That's right, it is done. It's out of my hair. Something I've always done. I've always tagged. Even if I'm putting it in my own car myself the next day, I'll stick a piece of tape or something on it. Just as an extra reminder, because that one little mistake can cost you. I lost an engine that way. Right at the beginning of the race season. Yep, right in the first practice session. Went out on the track. Actually, I lost it because not because I didn't put oil in, but another mistake that some people have made. And I'd actually got this motor, bought it from a friend of mine. I'm just going to grab my seat. I've been standing doing this transmission. There we go. Yeah, it was an engine and transmission assembly that I had bought from a friend of mine. Actually, Scott's son. He had taken it out of a car he was getting rid of, or wrecking, shredding, and he made a mistake that I've never made, but it's because of my being anal about labeling things. He drained the oil and antifreeze out, pulled the engine, and and then I went and picked it up, put it in the car, topped up the fluids. One thing he had forgotten to do was tighten the oil plug. He just put it back in finger tight. Now, there's never, if you're putting the oil plug back in a transmission or a motor or anything, you're never going to take it back out again unless you've put fluid in. So why would you only leave it finger tight? If you were going to replace the gasket or replace it, you wouldn't put it in at all. So you should always put it back in and put the wrench on it. And he didn't do that. And so I put it in my car, topped up the fluids, and everything went out for practice, and the drain plug vibrated out. And it was my fault for not double checking everything, because that was one of the things that I had on my checklist. I always checked before that and after that, but the one time I didn't, cost me an engine, and I couldn't salvage any of it except the block. And the head. The head had to be torn down and looked at, but the crank was bad. A couple of the connecting rods were bad, were scored. The pistons were all screwed up, but no lubricant to the rings, so the rings all buggered up. But fortunately, these Datsun engines, they have a high chromium content in the block, and the blocks are bulletproof. I've never personally seen a Datsun L series engine with a hole in it from a rod or anything like that, and I've never seen one get scored really bad. If the car had a lifetime of poor maintenance, you might get a cylinder that has a ridge on it, but most of the time there's not even a ridge on them. It's just the way the whatever metal content they use, it's a very, very hard block. So I was able to save it. So that was just a quick update. I'm going to sit for a couple minutes and then put some tools away, and on Friday I have the Datsun gang are all coming over for one of our little meetings, as we call it, a bullshit session. Just sit around, have a couple of beers or whatever. And actually, because I've been so busy with everything going on in my life with my mom and with my health and everything, I haven't had them here for about 5 years. 4 or 5 years, and it's not really fair to them to host it all the time. So to thank them for doing it, and also just kind of the way we are, we're going to throw on a big pot of chili and get some fresh baked buns. They're going to be here 7:38. Probably start trickling home 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, whenever they want to leave. Doesn't matter to me because I'm a night hawk and I'll be up till 4 or 5 anyway. I'm looking forward to having them over. I showed you earlier, we had the snowblower in. Kyle and I tore it apart and threw the new fuel line in. And I had to readjust the idle mixture because I hadn't adjusted it since I rebuilt the carb on it. And well, it was working good because it was heavy snow. Light snow, that thing will blow it really easy, but when you could see it, Kyle having to stop going forward and letting it catch up with the auger to throw it away, it's because it was just heavy and so dense. A little more heavy and dense than normal. Kind of nice to see snow. Kind of didn't feel like winter really, now that we have more snow and we got like the windrows or the snow banks from plowing on the street and from in the backyard from shoveling to the garage here. Now it feels like winter. We got a little bit of snow, and unfortunately VW Darren, it's not good enough snow to make snowman. It is hard snow, but it doesn't quite pack right to make snowman. So I would have made one for you. Could have joined HPR's army of them there, but sorry, bud. Well, can't think of anything else for now, so we'll let you go. And I'm going to put some tools away and move a couple things. Get the tunes cranked up again, and I got to move Missy up a little bit. But right now I have my welders and the engine crane all sitting in front of her, so I can't really move her right now. And I got to get the lathe that's behind me here moved out of the way, so I'll have more room over by the fire when everybody gets here. So that's what my plan is for tonight. I'm glad that piece of shit is done. It's out of my hair. Next time I open the door to get firewood, which I'll have to stock up anyway. Wood comes in, that goes out. Can sit outside. Friday night I'll throw it at Scott. He can put it in his car because the guy that actually owns it is Scott phoned and asked if he could come Friday night. I don't mind. He's got stories that we like listening to as well, so why not? The more the merrier. sit and inflate each other's egos again and talk how great we were and how much greater we are. You know, how much greater we were than we really were, you know, years ago. Although I was pretty good. Anyway, oh man. I'm gonna let you go and get a little bit more done, and I'm pretty sure I'll be getting called for supper tonight. Oh, one more thing. I don't know if I'll get it there. If you can see right here, here's the metal plate AJ got for me, and I've got all the pieces marked that I have to cut. So maybe I can even do a little bit of that tonight. Got a nice double stack of cutting wheels a couple weeks ago, so I think I've only used one out of the pack, so I got 19 more to wear out cutting that stuff up. And I likely could have gone with 1/8, but AJ couldn't get any at the time, and so it's a little thicker, so it's stronger. Not like it's going to make the car weigh a lot more. You know, the car is only 2,000 pounds anyway. Anyway, here I go rambling on again. Catch you later.